Hey guys, this is a general reading for Taurus for December 2019. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. If you have significant Taurus in your chart, or if you're just drawn to this video for more of a complete picture, or if this doesn't resonate with you, check out also all those same placements of any other video that I've either already made or will make in the future. So I'm going to say my announcements real quick, and then we'll get to your reading. So thank you for those of you holding on. Most of it will be my normal one, but I also am going to talk real quick about my raffle. I also have a video up about it, so if you're interested more on that, look at it. Might say like November, December raffle or something. But thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting on this video. Commenting is one way to give back to me also, as well as liking the video and sharing it, so that the message circulates in case someone needs to see it. It also helps me here on YouTube. So even if you can't give back energy-wise in some other way, that's absolutely a quick way for you to be able to do it for me, is just to leave a comment or to share or like the video. Absolutely subscribe and hit the bell. I put out different types of videos, and I will start putting out more. But thank you for doing that. Also, for those of you who have asked about donations, thank you so much for that, and for if the videos helped you or the giving and receiving of energy. If you're interested, my information is in the description box below. So it'll have my PayPal address. So my PayPal address is in the description box below, or information. My email address is below. Service information, I've not added my shamanic services yet to that, but I'll be adding that soon. Also read the disclaimer. If you have any other questions, though, feel free to email me. But thank you so much for those giving back in that way. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, for services, too. Thank you for those of you who have participated with services. It means a lot to me to be able to work with you guys. It helps me also continue to learn and give back. And it's very synchronistic, the way it always happens. It's beautiful. Okay, so if I remember anything else, I'll tell you, but let me get to the raffle real quick so I can get to your guys' reading. Again, I have a video all on its own that probably says all the same stuff. That is like November and December raffle or something. It's some short video not long ago. So you can also look at that. The November raffle is already over. Mostly it was Tauruses who went in for that, although I have to say, I mean, I only did November reading. I've had a lot going on and a lot coming up. So either way, November raffle is over. I will be pulling that. I'm aiming to pull those this weekend. December raffle. I will pull that within the first week or so in January of 2020. I may or may not do a January raffle. I'm not sure yet. But either way, I'll pull in the first week of January 2020 for the December raffle in 2019. What you get is, for $5, you can get any one of my readings, even though live, being generous this season. So any one of my readings, or one of my shamanic services. So a soul retrieval or an illumination. I also do like destiny retrievals, and a couple other power animal retrievals, but it'll be on a list, or you can email me. But most people are probably going to pick the shamanic illumination or the soul retrieval. So $5, any reading or one of the shamanic services. Or for $7, you can get the chance to win any one of my readings and one of the shamanic services. So one of the readings and one of the shamanic services. A raffle, for those of you who don't know, is a chance to win. You are paying for a chance to win. And the reason why it's a small fee to pay, so it's a way of give and take, but also, to me, this takes a lot of investment on my time. It's a lot of time for me to do it. A lot of energetic investment as well. So I want to make sure whoever does this is kind of like on their journey. They're wanting to look more into themselves. They're wanting to learn. They're wanting to grow. They're wanting to work through their blocks. They're just on that kind of journey and ascension process. And they're open and receptive. I don't want to convince somebody of anything. Like, I'm not here for that. Like, I'm here to work with you, not convince you. So it helps kind of help me with that and let me know that somebody is serious on their journey. So please don't apply to the raffle if you're not. In order to participate in the raffle, now since this is a December reading, you need to be subscribed, preferably hit the bell, hit all, so whatever option you want, but hit the bell so you receive notifications. Like the video, whatever video you're watching in December of one of my zodiac horoscope readings for December 2019. Comment. I might put it below in the comments too, but I mean, there's plenty of places you should be able to get this, but I'll try to put this in the comments below too, pinned. Leave a comment in the video. Any December 2019 zodiac, for any of the 12 zodiac sign videos that I do end up doing in December. Also pay, either the $5 or the $7 to my PayPal. The PayPal's in the description box below. You can only do it as December as of right now because November is over, but you could buy as many tickets as you want. You could do 5 and 7. I don't know why you would, or you could do like 2 7. Like, you could buy as many tickets as you want. You could also gift this. However, I would prefer that you gift it to somebody who's also on this journey. Like I said, I'm not here to like woo somebody or it's cool or maybe I can convince them because you can't of your lifestyle, whatever. No. They have to be on the journey too. So you can even gift part of it. I'd prefer it all be together. It's a nice little package, but as long as it's on the journey, they're on the journey and all that. So in the PayPal, you don't just pay the money. So hopefully you're getting this all together. Pay $5 or $7 or whatever. If it's like 3 tickets of the $7 one, then it would be $21. If it's 3 tickets of the $5 one, it'd be $15. You get it. But in the information or like comments or whatever, the note box, you're going to want to put your name. I'd prefer you to put raffle. I could probably figure out with 5 or 7. It's hard to tell with donations sometimes though. But put your name, put raffle, put the December raffle, preferably. But absolutely your email address so I can contact you and your YouTube name so I can see where you commented. So your name, December raffle, your email address, and your YouTube name. And then subscribe, like, and comment on any video. This is for December raffle of any of the December zodiac readings. Okay? Even if you don't watch the video, you should watch the video. They're all very informative, but you get what I'm saying. So again, thank you for those who have liked, shared, comment, subscribed, and hit the bell. Thank you for those who have donated. Thank you for those who participate with services with me. Thank you for those, just for everything. Thank you for everything. And if you can't get back in some way, please at least comment. I mean, it's the least you can do, and it helps circulate the video for others who need it. And it's your way of saying thank you for the time and energy I put into this. Okay? Also, there's a video on all that if you need to look into it. It's not long ago, December, November raffle or something. Look at that. I probably should pin it, but I'm not there yet with doing all that stuff. Okay, so on to your reading. I feel, first of all, for Taurus, there's a big energy that's shifting. I can feel the energy shifting. I can also feel a lot in my throat lately. I think at first the energy is exciting and it's like a relief, but I can also feel like resistance starting to come up to it. So I think Tauruses are really going to have to work on that. Like on one hand, it's like, oh, thank God. But on the other hand, there is resistance at the same time after you get past the initial excitement of it. So if you notice that it's kind of like it's getting good and all of a sudden it gets rocky and then it's getting good and it's getting rocky and you're like, what the heck? There's a really good chance that it's your resistance. Or it could just be teaching you different lessons or different things are happening. But chances are it's your resistance. And it's your things and your blocks that you're going to have to be able to get through, work through, let go of, and all of that. There's just going to be a level, I think, of things coming in to assist you, to help you in just letting go and being at peace with where things are. Whether you know, whether you don't know, seeing maybe even the wounds that are keeping you in resisting or keeping you to things. Just seeing more and understanding more. And even if you don't, for some reason, like, you're okay with that. So let's move on with your reading. Because this is one of those readings where, like, I guess I kind of see where it goes, but not fully. So most of this is probably going to be channeling. In the center of your reading, you have the Knight of Pentacles. I think this is a lot of that energy I was talking about. That is, you're ready to go and like build. You might even be in the process of, you know, being so detailed, or, you know, connecting the dots, or the crossing the T's and dotting the I's and everything. I'm sorry. I just feel like I should have like some cards in my hands or something. I don't know why, but you're still moving kind of slow at it, you know, with the Knight of Pentacles. It's a slower one. And that's why I said where there's a level of moving forward and preparing to build and go, but there's also that level of hesitancy. No, I'm busy. I'm working. I'm trying to see if there's anything else it wants to say. Does that feel there might be? There's still, and I think that's what I'm feeling. I think I'm feeling still the level of unsurety, if that's the right word, if that is even a word. Hesitancy. Like I was saying before, that's the energy I was feeling. You're still kind of getting ready to go. I'm not sure if you even know it what yet, but it's like, I don't know if you're waiting on if you'll be ready, because you may, I mean, nobody's ever really ready, but what is it? It's just really a thought pattern. And I think it's really grounded by like a core belief or a wound. And some of you may see that and get the realization of that, and that helps you move forward. Or, this 2019. So, I mean, we do have a full moon in Gemini, like on the 12th. And then a solar eclipse new moon. Is that in Capricorn? Sorry, I'm drawing mental blanks right now. Yeah. So the new moon is in Capricorn. So you might have a realization this month that either like that you see things, or that like really, and that pushes you forward, or you just get that push to push forward just from that there's an increased level of anxiety or restlessness that you just can't not do it, whether it's just to soothe your anxiety level, or just because you know, like, even though you can't just put the energy away, you know that it's no good focusing on it right now. But you're still hesitant because like what's crossing you is the Nine of Cups and the Queen of Wands. So still, you know, kind of focused on you and your passions and your go-getterness and what makes you feel good and what makes you feel alive. It's like you're, I'm sorry. It's like you're still, because Tauruses are very focused, right? So, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what they're focused on. And it's really hard. This is where like the stubbornness of Tauruses come in, is it's really hard to change a Taurus's focus or a Taurus's agenda or a Taurus's belief. If you're going to come up and have like in my opinion, Tauruses are very compromising. Especially the females. I mean, females are different than males, but Tauruses anyways, I do feel are very compromising. But because I'm a Taurus sun, because we're so set in our ways, our thought patterns a lot. Like we only speak if we believe in something, if we feel we really know something. If we don't, we're quiet. We don't say anything. We just sit back and then observe. So if we're to the point where we're saying something and you're coming with something else, you need to be able to back that up in order for us. We will possibly change our mind, but you have to have you have to be bringing what you're backing up, just like we're bringing what we're backing up, and then we'll compare and see. It's a little harder in terms of love or something that you really want. It depends on how bad you really want it. If you want it and there's like a shadow contract to it, or something in the subconscious, then it'll be a little bit harder. But my main point in all of that is it's really hard to turn a Taurus's focus from one thing to another thing. It can be done. It happens very slowly. And I think that's what's happening. I think that's what's been happening, you know, and it's a little back and forth, but it's still overall moving forward. Exactly like the Knight of Pentacles, you know, it's like he's moving, he's there, he's doing the stuff, he's doing it the most accurately. Like we're covering every, you know, like when a Taurus finally like moves over to something else or they let something go, they for sure have tried everything. They're definitely not going to be one of those signs that's going to be like, oh, if only I had done this, or if only I had tried that, or could have been. No, because we will have tried everything in our knowledge, at least. And I think there's a couple more of just those little crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Okay, you know, not quite like it was before, but that last little hurrah, I don't even know how to describe it, before our attention is just moved over to something else, because we know that, I don't want to say there's no going back, because some people will be able to move forth on their stuff and still keep that space open. So I'm not saying that it will never be revisited if it needs to be, but it's kind of like the feeling I get is like not holding space anymore. Like I feel like whatever this is, whether this is a past thing or whatever you're moving to, whatever you're wanting to replace it with, it took up a lot of your energy. It took up a lot of your space. You were very, very committed to it and put a lot of action into it, which is why it's really hard, you know, to completely just let go. It's like, that doesn't make sense. What was it all for then? You know, you almost need something to come to like fruition or culmination because of it. And really you just may not be seeing it properly. Like either it's not here yet, or you're just not seeing everything you got from it and realized you just held on too long. But it's a big thing. And I mean, all Tauruses know, especially if you've been watching my Taurus readings, like, it's a big energy that you know, for one, you put a lot of time into, so it's hard to just let that go, even though there's no rewards being reaped from it other than thinking that you're okay and you're content and you have some level of control, but you really don't. It really makes you feel powerless because you are in that regard. It just gives nothing back to you. It actually stifles and blocks you. So if you're into your goal of being self-sabotaging, then it's serving its purpose. And maybe that is the point of it, that you're not even realizing, is that you're so scared of your potential or the unknown or the having your things just rocked as you're moving through. And because like I said, it's such a bit. Why does my camera keep doing this lately? It's such a big energy that, I mean, think about it. What's going to replace that? And that might also be a thought of yours. What's going to replace that? You know, like, what's going to give me things to focus on? What's going to give me purpose? What's going to give me goals? What's going to make me happy? It might even make you a little bit more sad at first because you don't know where to place that energy. It's like you're taking this huge energy and making it about somebody or something else that's not serving you, instead of taking all that energy and turning it either into you or into your own creation or into your own story. Like, what do you want to build as a story? Are you proud of your story right now? Are you proud of what you've built? Would you do things differently? Then start now, you know, type thing. Like, you don't want to go another 10 years wasting your time on something that, like, I'd rather stop now and put it into something else that I do have more control over, that is for me, that is trying, you know, it's working with me, it's for me, it's flowing with me, it's going to help me. Like, it's almost like in a way to like make all your actions worthy, or to make you feel worthy, or to make you feel power again. And like, you can't go to what hurt you or destroyed you to heal you. And you need to go to that which has a different energy. And then you either decide you're healed and you don't need that and you just move on, or then maybe you can go back and address it once you are in more of a balanced, healed state. That's up to you. I know it's hard to, like, I know sometimes I look at it, it's like, I just don't know how to replace that. And I think for those people who don't, and maybe this is what I'm supposed to say right now, that you don't know how to replace it. Like, you're just like, I don't know how to let it go. I want to let it go. It's driving me nuts. I can't let it go. So it's like I said, you can't go to what hurt you or destroyed you to heal you or fulfill you, right? It just doesn't, at least right now, it doesn't have that capability. And you can't just sit there and wait like you're going to get worse. They're not going to be drawn back, law of attraction. You shouldn't even care about that anyways. Like, you have to go, and you just have to go do other things. You have to do what you haven't done before. In order to get out of a stuck, stagnant energy, you have to do some radical thing. And I'm not talking about, like, don't get yourself hurt, don't anything like that. But you have to do something you haven't done before and be willing, like this. Like, here's this on the bottom of these decks, taking the risk, which I didn't even think about that. But in fledgling, I didn't know what that meant. I happened to look it up 2 seconds before the reading because I wasn't going to include that card. But it was all about learning new things. And underneath that is the High Priestess of the air. So mentally, like, I think you're going to be, I think through moving forward and just saying, like, F it, and you just go, I think you're going to heal and learn new things, and it's going to help you heal your perspective, which is going to help you let go of this. You might even see, like, either what was holding you to it, or realize that you didn't need this to give that back to you. You know what I mean? Like there's a good chance that whatever you're holding on to this, especially if it hasn't been serving you, there's something you are trying to get out of it. And it's not just time invested. That's a very surface level way to think. Mostly underneath, it's because there's a level of validation or powerlessness or a void or something that you're trying to get or fill, or like a childhood wound, like a mother-father wound. There's usually some shadow contract or shadow aspect. And there's a sense of belonging and things being the way they should have been or whatever. Like, and you're not going to see that or let it go until you allow yourself to go into new energy. And even if it doesn't happen right away, like you just keep stepping, because as you do these new things and as you learn and as you grow and as you have these trial and errors, it's going to start to almost contrast more to where one has to push out the other. And chances are, if this person, if you're just holding on to it and they're really not around or not really doing anything substantial anyways, it's really actually a void that you have put them as the symbol of. But it's really just you, it's just your void, but they're the symbol of it, if that makes sense. And when these things come in that you're doing and experiencing and trying and finding out about yourself, it's going to come in and enlighten and show parts of yourself. And I don't want to say fill that void, because it's really not really a void. It's not really an opening. It is you. It's just you haven't seen it, explored it yet. But for lack of better words or understanding, it fills that void. It illuminates it. It shows what's in there. It gets the gook out, and then it can start to heal. And then it becomes like you're actually like your favorite place. It's just, you couldn't really see what was in there because it was dark and it was scary, you know? And, that it really wasn't about this person or thing. Like, it was just, there's some other reason for it. And you just have to kind of be brave enough just to go. And I think we're getting to, there's like a push that's getting us that's brave enough to just go and kind of be done with it. And I think it's really preparing us and getting ready to catapult us into like for 2020. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm missing something. So I don't know if like it's that I'm feeling or if it's something else. So, and I think that's why what's crossing too is this being like this fulfillment card, you know, and she's the powerlessness and the fulfill the void. That's what's crossing this from going forward. So not only is it keeping you stuck here. Yeah. Oh, wow. We have the devil here and you have the devil here. So not only is it keeping you stuck here for those reasons, but it's also, you know, stopping you from moving forward. So I do think it's a little bit of this person or thing, but I think it's mostly the stuff within you, and they're just like a symbol of it. I don't know why, you know, it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. But let's move on from that. What's in your foundation is you have the Knight of Wands and the Sun reversed. So, this I think is you and them or it, like somebody like you're not seeing something about it, but they're just not going to bring you a level of happiness. And also your whole like way of taking action. Like, you don't want to not see anymore. You don't want to not be happy anymore. You don't want to just... Well, I get floundering from this. And the Knight of Wands isn't always floundering, but... I think this is about you really coming more to grips and reality with, is this making me happy? Is this serving me? Is this growing? Is this being nourished? Like the Empress energy. Like the Empress does not stay or feed into things that are not nourishing for her, but also the connection is not being nourished. Like just don't have time for it. You know what I mean? Like, you want growth, you want abundance, you want nourishing things, not something that's stagnant or dead. In the past, whether it's recent past or distant past, it kind of came up sideways. So I think this might still be like, I think you're still in the process of this, of like finding like your level of independence and the whole perception that goes along with it. I mean, because they're sideways, so I don't think they're fully up yet. I think you're still in that uncomfortable position of seeing and changing to do that. Of just realizing, like, I want to feel good. I want to be happy. Like even more so, like, importantly, like, on my own. Not that you're like, I have to be on my own, but it's just getting tiring to just keep waiting on other things. And I know this has been a long time coming with Tauruses. I mean, we're Tauruses, you know, it takes a while. We're slow a lot of times at this stuff. We'll go back and forth. We'll have a realization. You know, it takes a lot sometimes to really move it out. This bond is strong. And I mean, you can even see it. I'm not going to go in it for the sake of time, but on the cards on the bottom of the deck, it's like it literally just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you might literally need to get to a point, honestly, where you're okay with that. And not try to push it away, or kind of like I was saying in the last reading, like, just love it for what it is and utilize that energy. And just when it comes up, just see it as part of a shadow contract. If you can find out what's tying it to it, then great, do it. If not, just keep moving forward and persevere and push through, because it will end up coming up. There's no way that it can't. So I think you're still working on that level of feeling good and independence on your own and getting to that level of a new perception. I just get a very back and forth energy. I think a lot of it also has to do with letting go of control, like trusting the wisdom of a divine plan. And you have own your own power underneath it. Every storm brings a fresh new beginning. I think Tauruses go between like releasing and then like grasping. And then it becomes too stressful, and then they release and then they grasp. And I think where the cycle may keep turning around at is when you release and then it's like, oh, it feels good for a minute. But what it does is it brings up other issues of yours, such as needing to grow and strengthen like your willpower and your mindset and your discipline, and like, you know, that you're coming face to face with almost that powerlessness, or, you know, just seeing you and your greatness, like your own doubts, you know, because of this. It's almost like a self-sabotage or self-fulfilling prophecy that it keeps you in that reason of, oh, I'm not good enough, or, oh, I'm powerless. And even though, like, if you ask yourself consciously, you know, you're not going to be like, oh no, like I can do things, but subconsciously, like, this is what's sitting in your subconscious, is feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you're powerless, that you're not creative, like you're still in that point of looking to someone else for that, but at the same time, like, it's not going to come. So you just keep to this goal that it's almost like it keeps you safe, but it doesn't. It's really destroying you. So you might as well jump into the unknown. You know what I mean? Like, you have literally a better shot at just going and doing it and seeing what happens. You're uncomfortable anyways. You might as well be uncomfortable in things that give you the possibility to grow and expand and be happy and learn things and show you a different reality than one that is for sure going to show you the reality that you already think and know. So you have to really ask yourself at that point, like I said, are you satisfied or happy with the story you've created? Whether you created it or whether somebody else did and you adopted it. But there is a huge part here about Tauruses really having to work through a feeling of powerlessness and not being good enough. You know, I mean, there's so many other things that can go with it, but those are like the main ones. There's their whole confidence factor, which is really, you know, coming also from sexual energy and your solar plexus. But you have to start to ask yourself, why do I want to hold on to something that tells me I'm something that either I'm not or that I don't want to be? And I'm not putting that on that person or thing. I'm saying that like to you because you're the one holding on. They have no power. The only reason that you're powerless right now is because you're giving it away. So what you have to ask yourself is, why? Is it that you don't maybe have a fear of commitment? Maybe you don't want the responsibility. Maybe responsibility before is like, when really you can go and do something that might be fun. And then if you can't figure it out, to be honest with you, you're just going to have to do it anyways. Like just tough love type stuff. You're just going to have to do it. One part of you is going to be like, oh, how are you today? Do you need a rest? You know, and it's like self-love. And the other part's like, you need to get your ass up and get to work. Like, you are not reaching your full potential. And you have to find that balance between loving yourself and like parenting yourself in a way of, you're like, what are you doing? Especially if, I don't know, like I really learned with my husband where it's like, if, you know, not that my husband did this, but I learned this because of the love for my husband, is if somebody ever tells me they don't want me or to like go away or whatever, like they don't want to be with me, like you don't have to tell me twice. Like, I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to convince, no. Like, no. I will not be somebody's option. And if somebody ever looks at me like an option, or I am one of your options to have to choose from, just count me out. I'm not going to be your option. You know, like I want somebody who wants me like I want them. And I get it. I have compassion for not knowing, and you have to integrate and all of that. But I'm at a point in my life right now where I don't have time for that, you know, and when you know, you know. And if you have to figure it out or convince yourself, then chances are I'm not for you anyways, because you would know. So I wouldn't try to hold on to that. In the past, I would have, whether because I thought I really wanted it or I had to prove something, or I don't know. Honestly, there's a multitude of reasons, but none of them were good enough to stop me from becoming my genuine self. And maybe that's really at the end of the day what it's really about. Maybe it's really scary to really see yourself and to see your potential and who you are. I mean, to see your shadow too, but to see your potential too, because those are big shoes to fill, you know, and that's a lot of responsibility. And yes, a Taurus can do it. I mean, we're like workers, But what's going to be hard for Taurus about it is I feel like in the past, most Tauruses have worked out of security and out of fear, not so much for self-love reasons. And that's going to be the hardest part of it, is transforming that mind frame over to doing it just for pure excitement or out of your highest potential, not for somebody else, or not to show somebody else or convince somebody else or be like, look at me, like just for you. And just for whether it's your purpose or whatever, but for you to fulfill, like whether you want to go with your defined plan or whether you want to go with, because you just want to see what you can make yourself into. What can I do? Like I always go back to in a lot of my readings, what can I do? And maybe that's a hard thing too, because, you know, when you get there, you know, if you don't do it, or you weren't able to like keep up with the responsibility, or you weren't able to maintain it, it's like you knew. So like, let's say, here's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to use an example. Say this is a person you're holding on to, right? And like, they won't be with you. They won't, whatever. There could be a part of your mind that's looking at it like, well, that's out of my control. But it might be completely different when it's something that's such the same of a big energy as what you put to that person or thing, but it is within your control. It's almost like if you fail at this, it gives you an out ego-wise, because, well, you can't control another person. But if it's your own creation, not only can you not deny anymore who you are and the expression of that to the world, which, you know, Tauruses usually sit kind of back a little, but it's also all on you if it fails, even though it's like not. It's a misperception, but, and even if, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, you're failing either way. You might as well have tried. And then at least you don't have the regret of not trying, which is exactly what you're thinking about this situation. Well, at least I can't say I never tried. But it's an illusion, because you're going to have this now on your mind, whatever it is, something else. And you may not be able to say that about that, but who cares? You can't say that about this. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope you're following me on this. Like, it's kind of at that point where it's just, you can't really lie to yourself anymore. I'm just going to go on. So in your thoughts, you have the Four of Wands. So, you know, I mean, some of you might still want this, whatever this is, but I think you want just to be happy again. You want to have the celebration. Yeah, like this new beginning, like something that feels, I don't want to say good. You do want it to feel good, but I think you're getting to a point, excuse me, I think Tauruses actually are getting to a point where, which is really crazy, because they're all about comfort, where they're willing to sacrifice comfort for what they want, knowing it's where it's going to get them. Because really, with the way we've been thinking about comfort, it keeps us like this. And I don't think we want to be chained up anymore. I don't think we want to be bound and limited anymore. Why? This is making me mad. I think you want to just go for it. Like, less talk, more action. And just like create your happiness, create your foundation. and just endure whatever it is you have to endure. I definitely vibe with that because I'm definitely lining things up for myself where, you know, things will be uncomfortable for me. But I'm uncomfortable now. You know what I mean? So, oh well, like, I'll get through it because I know things will come from it. I know that the only thing that's going to come from where I am right now is either a tower moment that's going to be way worse, or the anxiety, depression, like, just not good stuff. No. In your likely future, I hope I'm making sense. I feel kind of all over the place. In the likely future, you have the King of Swords. So this is you knowing, like, this is you making the decision of what you're going to do. Let's verify, but I'm pretty sure. Tell me about the King of Swords. So you have the Nine of Pentacles reversed, which is in your past, and it was kind of turning. I'll pull another one, but I think that is clarifying it, where it's like, because of you feeling so not the way you want to feel, it pushes you to make the decision and take action. Yeah. For some of you, there could also be somebody coming in with a level of communication. They may either want a new beginning or sex, but they may come in kind of a little aggressive. Not, and I don't necessarily mean aggressive like mean, it could be, but more like just very intense. And they're not feeling good of themselves. They might also not be single. But they might not be feeling good or independent themselves. It might be coming to you for you to help help them with that. And you're just like very like, no, like King of Swords. Yeah, like you're holding back. Like you have Four of Pentacles and Six of Pentacles. Like you're going to have very strong boundaries and communication to this. Because for one, I mean, they would need to get themselves together beforehand. Like there's no point in you sucking up all their crap. Like you're still trying to get yourself together. That's stupid. That's very codependent. So don't do that. Which also behind that is the three, funny now I say that, is three. I'm sorry about my camera, guys. I don't know what the deal is about the Three of Cups and the Knight of Swords and the High Priestess and the Ten of Wands, Five of Swords. Yeah. So some of you might have someone coming to you that there's not good energy with them. And I'm not saying they're necessarily going to try to screw you over. Maybe. They just have a lot going in within themselves that either they're dealing with or they feel stuck. They don't feel good. And why would they be coming to Taurus? To see whether, yeah, I think they're going to be checking your temperature, kind of like, I mean, I've said that in past readings, like they're going to be reassessing and strategizing and maybe seeing if you're an option for them, even if it's at least sex or a good time. Like maybe some of it might be to build, some of it might literally be to keep you hanging on. Some of you, it might be literally just, they just want to have fun. Like they want something that helps their mind feel better or be at ease or whatever. I'm not even saying it in a bad way. Like it's same as this energy. But there's just things that like you don't know. I feel like there's secrets. There's things they're not going to be saying. So just keep in your own energy space and your own thoughts. Don't get pulled into somebody else's drama. Don't get pulled into their woes. Like, don't let them come in and like make their problems your problems or make you feel guilty that you don't want to deal with their problems. Like, just transmute that energy and send it back to them and just, oh, I'm sorry, you know, do your own thing. If you don't have time with it, you don't have time with it. If your health isn't good enough for it, it's not good enough for it. You know, just let it be their problem. Like, if you can't handle listening to it, don't listen to it. If you can, then listen, but don't try to fix it. Don't try to offer it. Like, just let it be their problem. And just be true to you. Don't try to go fix somebody else. Because there's a lot of like exiting the whole matrix type of thing going on here and getting out of this whole codependent way of feeling like you're obligated to do things or that you're guilted into doing things, or don't, you know, like if you're just now starting to get on that path where you're working on getting yourself together and getting yourself in the right way, like don't let somebody else kind of distract your energy in order to get them right. And then you're even more worse off because you're literally right at that point of like a breakthrough, you know, like you're coming up to your breakthrough and you don't want anything to distract you like that. So whether it really is in person, if you can't talk to this person and not be distracted, then you need to set that boundary strong and clear that you're on something else right now and it needs to be respected. If they're not around you or not coming back, then you need to not do whatever triggers you into it. If it's watching love tarot readings, then don't watch love tarot readings. If it's watching romantic comedies, then don't watch romantic comedies. Go do something else you don't normally do. If you don't normally go to a dance class, go to a dance class. If you don't normally go to a painting class, go to a painting class. Like, go do something else to break out of whatever cycle is cycling you in this, so that you can help. Because I really feel that energy where it's like really at a door. Is precipice the right word? Probably. Who knows? But you're right at that point of like a breakthrough moment. The door, I guess the door is the breakthrough. But so breakthrough. And somebody or something might come and it could distract you, whether it's literally in person or whether it's just literally like in the cycle, in life, in your mind, energetic space, whatever. Okay, just a little FYI. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if this is just me, but I've had so much in like my upper heart, my higher heart, my throat, especially like my throat and the back of my neck. It's so much tension up in here. So I don't know if all this tension, this is definitely not me picking up on this read. I'm just letting you know what I'm going through. Maybe this is a Taurus thing. I don't know. But I think it's my own like resistance and tension that I'm going through. It's like building up. And I like all up in my head and up here, but especially here, especially in my throat and the back of my neck. Like this whole chakra is the worst. All right. So how you see yourself is the Eight of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. I mean, you're like really working on this. Working on something. But I think you're really trying to work on balance and things that are like good for you and build for you. Maybe even obviously your money. But you're really trying to work on building and yeah. You're trying to work on changing this. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Which is funny because that's how your environment sees you. And trying to change where you're taking action in your emotions, if you're even using your emotions. And by that, I mean, it could be a person, but I more get like something that you're passionate or excited about. The camera is really making me mad. What's in your environment? And again, I get this kind of mirroring effect. I don't know why, like how I did in the last reading. So I'm just going to read this the different ways that I see it. On one hand, I think these both are going to be both of you. But on the other hand, I'm just going to, whatever. In your environment, so you have the Ace of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. So somebody in your environment, so on one hand, somebody in your environment could be so I remember in the last reading, you guys were really marrying each other, and it seems to really be marrying in this one too, with what you're going after. Like, what's crossing you is your Nine of Cups, and they're in the Eight of Cups. They're leaving, so they're going to find their ninth cup as well, which might be why they want to come talk to you. You just got to be careful with that, though, because I feel like, not that it's a trap, and I don't know whether they know it or not. It's just that they're not really in a good place, and I think they're going to expect you to help them in some way, whether it's through talking, sex, relationship, whatever, get them in a good place. And I don't think you're in a place to do that. Not only because you're a little too codependent, there's too much emotions involved. They have to learn that themselves. They're just going to pull you right back down. Remember I said, like, you'll drown or whatever? Watch the last reading for Taurus. I think it was November 2019. But so some could be coming back to you for that. Some just might want sex. Some might want to feel better like the King of Pentacles, or they do feel like the King of Pentacles. They have like money built up, but they're still not emotionally happy. And then some, this might be in your environment too, is that you're looking for this new beginning and you're going to find, it's going to matter either. You guys are mirroring. So either way, these are going to replicate. You get what I'm saying? I'm sorry. My stuff's all over. My energy is just different right now. I don't really know why. I even notice I'm talking a little Valley Girlish sometimes. But so just bear with me, okay? I think it's a little bit of my like aggravation and frustration of stuff lately and stuff going. So I'm a little like, or maybe this is the Taurus energy. Who knows? So how the environment sees you is the Wheel of Fortune. So they see all this work you're doing. And then you have the Queen of Cups, and then you have the Ace of Pentacles. And I really get the Queen of Cups as you're changing what you're focusing on, because she's like really focusing on this cup. I think you're changing what you're focusing on and, you know, building for this new beginning. And maybe that's why, like, just as a side note for some, this person might be okay money-wise, but they want more of the emotional fulfillment. And you might be okay money-wise too, but you're wanting to go and like build up your money. And this kind of matches a lot of like, I'm not saying to be together, but a lot of masculine and feminine energies. Like a lot of men were about their money, but theirs is more their emotional or their heart space. Where a lot of the feminines had already worked a lot of on their heart space, and now they're working on their creations and their money and their building and entrepreneurship and everything. But either way, they might want now to talk or more of emotional fulfillment now that more of their money is right, maybe for some of you. But now you're at a point where you're like, so they've got their money in check, and now they're like wanting to get emotional satisfaction. And that doesn't even mean in a great way. It's whatever way. This is a general reading. You have more of your emotions in check, but you're trying to get more of your finances in order. So even though you guys are like doing the same thing and you're mirroring, you're doing it almost in opposite ways. So if they come and they're trying to deal with emotions, that's not really going to help you where you're trying to go right now. Even though you're like, no, it is. No, it's not. Because it also keeps you codependent too, by the way. And it keeps you not feeling empowered. And whether you end up with this other person, situation, or whatever, you're going to want to be in your Empress energy. You're going to want to feel empowered. You're going to want to feel fulfilled. You're going to want to feel in that state where you can flow in whatever. You don't want to be in this codependent state, basically. You're going to end up right where you are now or worse. And same with them. They don't either. So hopefully you know better and know that. And you don't have to be mean about it, but they might get mean about it. I don't know. But you have to stay on your journey and stay focused. So again, this really goes with the last reading. Just keep in mind that I don't know if ever, but at least not right now, nothing is permanent. If some of you, these people are coming back or things are coming up, you guys have got to go do your things separately, at least right now, because your journey is going towards creation of something, of a building way financially, like whatever, because that's what's going to help you get back on your game and feel empowered and confident again. And theirs is going to have to be something emotionally, whether it's a creative project or even a person. So don't let that fool you or let someone guilt you or anything like that. Like, you know, they might have to go be with and like release it. But I'm just saying as a side note, in case it starts to freak you out, they might have to go be with somebody else to help their perspective. So by the time it comes back around to you, they're in a better state. You know what I mean? That way it also doesn't drain your energy. Like sometimes people need to come in to help people with other perspective. And sometimes people can help people with things and like you can't. I would, you know what I'm saying? So just release whatever happens. You are on one phase of your journey going one way. They're on another phase going another way. But they may want to come talk to you to assess things and or distract them because they may be bored or just seeing what they can get from the situation at the time kind of thing. Yeah, because I really get the hermit vibe with it. Like they're just going on their own. They're checking different things out. Whatever happens, happens. You know, they're just learning and going. Like it's not a, it's an explorative learning journey vibe, not a I'm going here to be with this person vibe. It's this vibe, basically. But more in a, they want to be, you know, there's emotional fulfillment. They want to, within themselves. And that might be through sex. It might be through talking. It might be through flirting. It might be through ego things. Either way, you need to keep yourself in a healthy, where your heart can expand and constrict as needed. Constrict? I think so. Like, and basically, so you're the only one who's going to protect your heart, you know? So if it's not a place that's safe for you to be vulnerable in that way, you need to learn how it is for you, whether it's not talking at all, whether it's just saying hi every now and then, whether you could just be friends. But I absolutely wouldn't recommend anything in a vulnerable way for you. If money's vulnerable, then it's that way. If it's, you know, love or sex, then no. You know, this is an explorative energy. So just be wary. There's a lot of abundant new energy floating around here, though, on both your ends. But just keep in mind, this is what you're going towards, and this is what they're going towards. They're two different goals. So even if you can feel that same new starter energy and that same safety between the two, just remember the goals are still different right now, okay? What's in your hopes is the Two of Wands. So yeah, like you're wanting to be freed, you're wanting to move forward, you just want to, like, you want to go. You don't want to be stuck anymore. What's in your fears is that you stay stuck. You stay confused. You're like, I don't know. You're not really taking action because there's just so many options, so many things, and you're just sitting there confused and you're just in like la la land. And your likely outcome, so you have two sets. So on one hand, you have Knight of Cups reverse, 10 of Swords reverse, and you have Strength. And then you have 10 of Cups, Ace of Swords, and 10 of Pentacles. And I really get, it's more like this, maybe the way you guys would see. I always do this, and then it ends up being backwards when I look at the video. But I always get like this is first. Like this, I think this part is over for the most part. And I'm not saying like that you having to put your boundaries up is not going to be hurtful to you. I think that's actually what's going to help you see some things, whether it is through this person or thing coming through, or whether it's just you moving forward and putting boundaries up to yourself. I think that's going to help you see things about yourself. But I think for the most part, this part of things is over. This having to have strength, this hurting yourself and being stabbed, you know, no love, just, I think for the most part, that's over. And you're starting to go, you know, you had this like I said, you have at some point like a realization of what leads you to, I mean, look at this, like 10 of Cups, Ace of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. You know, like you have that realization of knowing like either what it is that you want or to go towards this, like that this is what you want and that this is what you've been going after. I mean, these are two very different things, two very different energies. You know what I mean? So I think you realize that because in your likely future, you know, here's your King of Swords. And then this is your likely outcome with those other cards reversed. Like, I think you allow abundance in. And you know how to go after it. Like, I wanted to know what went from your thoughts, which was the Four of Wands, to the King of Swords. And you have receive. We have receive. Be open to receiving goodness. Believe you are worthy of abundance. A gift is coming to you soon. And you have patience. Pause before taking action. Trust that divine timing is at work. Be patient and play while you wait. So I think you're just like letting all the rest of this go. And that's why I said earlier, I don't think it's like a writing off energy. I don't think you're like, boom, like you're dead to me. You know, I don't really get that. Some of you might. I think it's more of a you just accept where it is and you just move forward. Like you just become okay. You know what I mean? Like you become okay with the way things are. And you either see why, or if you don't, you're just okay with it. And you like, you know, you will see. And you just be open to like receiving and playing and like doing things in the meantime. And I think that is what leads you to like some realization that you have, that just the openness that you're having of moving forward and just trying other things and just doing it, basically, like just doing it. And through that, allowing and taking the time to play and just letting go and being patient in the meantime, it really shows you something. So you have some other cards that came up for you. You have trust, and then you have patience again. So you have, I mean, Tauruses always get cards about patience. Trust and patience. Trust, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Patience, I accept that everything happens in divine order. So you just, like I said, you're having patience, you're trusting, you're moving forward. But forgiveness came up upside down, which is I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So I really kind of wanted to see why this was reversed because I just really didn't understand. You got Grove, which is really about this is a place of healing your heart. Whether if you need heart healing, then yours being healed. If you need to apologize to somebody, then you apologize to somebody. If somebody else needs a little bit of time, then you either are there for them or like you pray for them. And it also is saying too, like if you also need healing, and I had this realization today, I don't know why, but I realized that I don't really ask or pray enough to my guides or to my, above beings that guide me, or, Jesus, or whatever your thing is. You get what I'm saying? God, the universe, source, whatever. I don't really ask enough to help me. I try to take it on myself. And that's one of the things that Tauruses do. A lot of signs do, especially earth signs. But they try to take it on themselves. And I just realized I didn't ask enough. And it's really kind of dumb, because I realized any time in my life I have ever asked, I usually am guided with help or realizations or a change of perspective. And I'm just like surprised that it's something I've been battling so hard to some degree, of just letting go of certain things, that I don't just take the time. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll meditate this morning. But I don't, while I'm meditating, before or after or whatever, like, I don't take the time to like pray on that and ask for help that day, like every day, of getting through that and having realizations. And even if it's not one epiphany in that moment, like, even if it's just the that day to get through and move forward, even if it's just step-by-step help every day, you know what I mean? Like, I just realized I don't ask enough for that. So maybe you guys should start doing that, because I'm really going to do that, because I know anytime I have ever asked, it's always worked. It's always helped me. So you may want to do that if you're struggling. Like, don't just ask for money, or don't like just, yes, be grateful for what you have. So give thanks too. But don't forget to ask what you're struggling with, and know that you're not alone. Not only, are all of us going through this with you, but you do have guides, and you do have, sources and love energies that are there guiding you. So just don't forget about that. But so I wanted to know more, and it kind of just goes even more on everything, which I guess this supports what I just said, actually. There's faith, and there's supports, and then there's awareness. So I think that kind of matches what I just said, actually. Like how she's like sad, she feels like she's alone, and just know, like, you're supported through this. So if you have some level of forgiveness, or something that you're harboring, whatever it is, powerlessness, whatever it is, maybe even the fact that you're just alone, or you're bitter, whatever this is, there's some healing that needs to be, basically. Ask for help on that. Like, yes, moving forward, and ask for help to help you move forward and keep your perspective right to move forward and not be distracted off. But, or maybe if this person comes forward and it's a weakness for you and you need help, like, don't forget, like, yes, there's meditation and your guides, but pray, talk to them, however it is that you do it, because they need you to ask in order to step in due to free will. Anything that's there to truly help you, for the most part, needs you to ask. So make sure you know also who you're praying to. Don't just pray to anything, just as a side note. Make sure you set your intention to what you're praying to and asking for guidance and help from. And they're just waiting for you to do that. So, and then you have divine will. Your life is unfolding in accordance with the divine will of your soul. Trust, let go of fear and apprehension. You are protected and eternally blessed. Have patience, all manifest in perfect timing. You have patience, again. Emotions. And then you have holiday. The spirit of the ocean calls you, offering healing and much needed peace. Come to the water and connect with this endless flow of magic. You need a change of scenery, take a holiday, and all will fall into place. And that's what I was saying earlier. You need to do something or be around something you don't normally do, which I think will give you a break from these emotions. Like, have patience. I think you're like really all up in like, this moon energy and your emotions, and you need to get out of them in order to see something. And that's why I said here, like, what took you from the Four of Wands in your thoughts to the King of Swords? And it was saying how you're just open to the receptivity, the abundance and playing in the patience of this. You just go and do other things and focus on other things. Just go focus on other things. I know you can't see my hand, but it's over like this. Go focus on other stuff. Like, do not cycle into the things you normally do. And yeah, it's going to be weird. Like, you're going to have to totally like upset your whole pattern in the things you do. But it's almost like it's been going so long that, you know, obviously have balance with it. Keep a level of routine. Keep something in you that gives you a consistency. Hopefully it's not associated to any of this. But the other stuff that keeps you triggering and cycling into it, go do something else radically different. Do different things, different projects, just do it. And don't make excuses to not. Because where there's a will, there's a way. There's always a way. Okay. So you have a lot of cards about like sacral and solar plexus. Self-esteem, self-nurturing, sacral chakra. You have spirituality. A lot of this is really going to help really honestly balance out a lot of those chakras for you. But, it's really going to help a lot of your creativity and help you focus a lot of that creative sexual energy, but also like your self-esteem and your will and your confidence and your power. You've got to go a different way, in a way that serves you. Or even if it's like, you know, there's trials and errors, like it's a way that you can learn and grow. Like this way that you've been focusing on is in a way of challenges where you're not growing from it. It's not challenging in a way that's growing. So you need to either go towards something that just grows you or something that challenges you in a way where you grow. And so again, you have here abundance, enjoy the bounty of life. Basically, you're going towards abundance, which is the same as what you have up here with receive, and then you have support. So ask for help. So that's funny how I got that message, and it's because I laid these cards out and then I came back to it. So I'm glad I did, because I understand more now. Like, ask for help, get more real, and nurture yourself. And then you have intuition to listen to yourself. But I think a lot of you need to be connecting more within and like literally asking. Whether you have to do it through writing or whatever, but just pray and ask for assistance from God, Jesus. You know, if you have like your guides, your ancestors that you trust, just whatever it is, make sure that they're there for your highest good and to align with your will to the will of your higher self. They respect your free will. They don't have their own personal ego or agenda. But just start praying and setting that intention. Because it came up really strong for me. I think it was today it did, where I was just like, why am I not doing that? I want to see Taurus. I have these fairy oracle cards, like 2 different ones that I have to learn them. So I'm either going to intuitively do it or I have to read them. I don't know what this says. Something, the retriever. I'll show it to you while I'm thinking. Sorry, it's not clear. what else about this? He seems sad. Like, and he has it. It's almost like even if you had it, you'd still be sad. The topsy-turvies. I want to see if I can intuit this. Then I might like pick the book. I think it's really guiding for you to, like I was saying, ask for help from your guides. Because I think there's so much going on within you, in your mind space and in your subconscious that you don't see and know yet, that it's like you think you know what you want, but you don't know what you want because you don't really know yourself well enough. You're not like your life hasn't been creating for you. It's been creating for other people and keeping other people happy. And that's what makes you then happy. It's like the whole codependent cycle. So it's like you don't really know what you want to do on just creating for you now. So it's like this thing, whatever it is, this fairy retrieved this and he just doesn't really look happy still. And there's just all this commotion going on in his head. All these different voices and energies. And then there's, I think he's the master maker, which is like getting an idea, like having one single thought idea, like kind of like the King of Swords on what to create. This kind of is really wrapping up what I was saying. And then the reason I say that is like, there's the friends. This guy's different, but he has the same ball and he's like guiding him. And then there's fairy guide. And this is your own personal guide. Like technically you're supposed to draw your guide on here, but this is your own personal guide. And then there's honesty. So out of all this muck and mess that's in your head that you think you wanted one way, but you really don't, what's going to get you here to knowing this, and it's trying to get you to connect more into yourself and into like working with your guides. I've been getting a lot of push for that, to work more with my guides. It is asking you to work more with your guides, like the friends, like besides your own intuition and your own inner voice, they're going to guide you where you need to go, and they're going to lead, like they're going to bring you honesty. They're going to show you the truth right now, because this is going to confuse you. You're in a level of, like if you look at both of these cards, and this one's in the middle, they're dark. There's a darkness to them, and a darkness of not seeing. And the reason why is because there's too much going on in your head that you can't make sense of, or you don't know what it is, or you don't know why it's there. You need some assistance. So it could be, working with someone like me to see outside. Like I even need people to work with me to like do things I can't see, like helpers and healers. They help each other all the time. They have to, because you can get in your own way. You know what I mean? But your guides are asking you to ask them for help so that they can guide you. Like they'll be more honest. They'll help you see things more clearly, so you can have this level of idea like you're trying to have, and have more of that one, like Tauruses, that's what they like. They like to have one focus. So they just, oh, okay. And they know what to go for. and all their energy is towards that. They're a one focused thing. That's why on one hand, like if you're not on the best of thing, it sucks. But if you got Taurus on a plan with you and they're on a project, they're like one of the best people to have because they're there. You know what I mean? And that's what you're wanting. You're wanting to like, and I mean, to some degree, that's like a week. You got to work through that. You got to still move it even if you don't have that. But that's what you're wanting because there's too much. There's too much. Like it's almost like your mind and your antennas now, like your spiritual antennas internally, above and below, and everything is like a radio, and it's just like it's just moving all over the place, and you haven't found that station yet or something, if that explains it. And you do want to go with the flow, where you can switch between stations as needed, which you will. I wouldn't worry about that just because of what we've been through. I feel like you have. I just think you need a place to like root for a minute and go. Just don't forget what you've learned, that you're okay. You're doing your thing. You can move as needed. But sometimes Taurus is, and I don't know if this is something to evolve from, but they need to kind of anchor to something to go. And that doesn't mean you have to stay there, but I guess what I'm trying to say by anchoring is you have to like have a little bit more of a better idea of what's going on, or your energy at least has to align in one way, because Tauruses don't seem to do well when their energy is pulled in a bunch of different directions. And that doesn't mean we can't multitask. I mean, when there's that big, like this that you're focusing on is a big energy thing, whatever it is. You've put a lot of energy into, you've put a lot of action into it, consumes a lot of your energy and your mental space and all of that. So you can't move into something that's going to be monumental like that in your life. That's what you're trying to go towards and build if all your energy is still stuck somewhere else. Again, not aligned in one way. You're trying to look this way and part of your energy space is still going this way. So whether that has to be through perspective or something like that, it's asking you to ask for help, So also don't forget about my raffle, that could energetically help you with either a reading and or a shamanic illumination or soul retrieval. So that could definitely, I know it helped me a lot. But at the very least, you need to go within, you need to talk to your guides, pray about it. Meditate and pray. So don't forget that you have guides to help you. Okay. And they can also help show you if you want to learn the perspective. They're great for helping me with perspective of things. Whenever I don't understand something or I'm having a hard time with something, thank you. I'll ask them to help me with my perspective. And usually by that night or the next morning, I get that shift in perspective that's like, oh, okay. And I'm able to understand it, or I have a level of compassion for it. So that's why I say I don't understand why I didn't think about it before, to like invite that into my life to be able to help me focus and everything. I feel like there's something else I need to do. Am I done? I think it's really putting emphasis. They wanted me to pull a couple extra cards for you guys. Some of you, whoever this person or thing is that might come back around, stay focused on what you're working on or what you're trying to work on. Yeah. Because it could affect your finances too. It just doesn't have a good vibe to it. I mean, it's got like the 5 of Pentacles, Justice, 4 of Wands reverse, 7 of Pentacles reverse, 7 of Swords. It's not gonna go good. And it's gonna end up really sucking for you. I don't know if this person knows it or not. And it might come in a really like nice way or seem like it's love or loving way. Yeah. Boy, poison and boy, Ace of Cups. If you want to avoid, remember how I said earlier, like if you don't find a way to like get yourself out of it and move, like what usually happens is like the Tower or something like that. Like here's the Tower. And if you want to avoid this, you need to keep focused and keep working on whatever you're working on. It's almost like this energy of as soon as you kind of get, and it might actually be energetic. So as soon as you, a lot of times, if people have energetic cords attached to them, whether they're like just cords or like tubes that are like bigger, and they are removed, that person feels it. So I'm not saying it's this, it might be like you might energetically detach and end up getting yourself in a mind frame where you can focus on something else and get your mind where you want to go and know what your goal is now. And whether it's just coincidental or whether the person feels it, they might come back. And, you could view it as a test from the universe. Are you sure it's what you want? You have to pass it, whatever. Or the person might just coincidentally come up at that time. But it almost seems like right when you get focused and you get your mind into other things and you're like going, your mind is now one way. It's not like trying to go this way, but it's this way. You get what I'm saying? It almost seems like either whether that person or thing itself or something else like similar to it or a similar energy like comes along. And it's not good. Like it's either really going to set you back or like really hurt you in some way. Do not, because you have the Tower reversed, 8 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles reversed, and then you have the King of Cups. So you may need to stay emotionally balanced. Tell me about the King of Cups. You might even be really drawn to it. Whether it feels like the comfort of family or there's a long line attached to it. They might have a lot of energies around them that are just more shadowy energies. And I think that's a lot of why it might not go well for you too, is because you've been doing a lot of work to like raise your vibration and heal a lot of your energies. And they have a lot of like lower energies attached to them. So just the same that they might be drawn to you right now, like a moth to the light, like you might be as well. And you're really going to need to stay balanced. There's a lot of manipulation with the puppet, poison and boy, flower, umbrella, storm. Like, you can totally protect yourself from this. You are going to be protected, and this is also trying to protect you right now. But this is something, I mean, it's going to suck either way. But you basically, you have to choose you. And then that's going to end up benefiting you in the long run. And it's going to suck worse than if you don't choose you. Give me one card about what's going on here. The Fool. It's like it's going to try to stop you from popping out of the cycle or letting that go and going on to a new cycle. Tell me about this King of Cups. Yeah. So you have the Three of Swords. And this Three of Swords, this is, I had this in one of my Taurus readings. I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 ago. And this is like not a great energy. You can't focus like I did in the other reading. But this type of energy, it's like anything that comes in here, you can't really see it. But everything that goes in this pond, like there's even a dragon and everything, they get frozen and stuck in here. And I was saying in that reading, like, this is the type of thing when you get into it, like, it's either really hard to get out of or there's no getting out of it. Like, it tries to have you and keep you forever. I know that's a little extreme, but it's a very hurtful and devouring, like the devil type of energy. And I mean, it might even really come in like really loving and really like, you know, like a moth to a flame, like be everything that you want, hard to resist. And it's just really advising you to keep working on your new beginning. Like, do not get sidetracked or sucked into this. It's not what you think. It's not going to be what you want. And I don't know if, like, you can't ever go back. Like, I don't know. I just know it's a very invasive type of energy. Like a sucking your soul out type of energy. Can you tell me a little bit more about this King of Cups? Your guys' energies are very different. Yours is very much about, you know, listening with your heart. It's very higher energy. And then this person has a very trickster kind of juggler energy. Yeah, the rocks, I was going to say. There's the jug. So it's like, it's sandwiched. You have the song. This is very like intuition, listening to your heart. Then you have the juggler. Then you have Lady of Faith. And then you have the rocks. And I just got like a manipulative, like all by themselves type energy here. They're sad because they're by themselves. Like I'm telling you, this person's not going to be in good energy when they come to you. So this could be they're in two minds and they go back and forth themselves. And that's going to confuse the heck out of you and bring a lot of confusion as well. And this is also a difference in your guys' energies. At the same time, though, they mirror. There's a lot of your guys' underlying codependent energies that do mirror, but you express it in different ways, which is why you guys are going after different things and your lessons are different. But as of right now, it's going to drown you both. Like I said, that's what I said in the last reading. It will drown you both. More you than them, actually. But this is a manipulation, neediness, make an effort. Master of manipulation. He can get you to do anything for him because he uses guilt as a finely honed tool. It is very difficult to say no to someone as needy as this person appears to be, but every once in a while try saying that you just can't do whatever it is he's asking of you. This may come as a shock to the rocks. He isn't used to being denied anything, but it will begin to restore the balance in your relationship. If you recognize yourself in the rocks, think about the reasons you ask people to do things for you that you are perfectly capable of doing. Is it the desire to control a person or a situation, or do you really need help? Combine the rocks with the speaker of truth and you'll find the answer. We're not doing that. They might play like poor me, like they had even been through a lot of stuff and they're really not telling you everything. He just can't gather the energy to help himself, but he always has enough energy to get you to help him. He is, after all, the king, and being a king means having servants. Not that he wouldn't help himself if only he felt up to it, but in the meantime, just be a dear and fix him a little something to eat, preferably expensive and time-consuming, to make it just the thing that's going to make him feel better, and you don't want to help him get well. And you do want to help him get well, don't you? And would you go out and pick up his dry cleaning? He would do it himself, but he's just not feeling up to it. And besides, it's too cold to risk going out, and you remember what happened last time, don't you? But you'll be fine. A brisk walk is just the thing for you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really, I think that's what it was trying to get me to get for you guys, is it was really wanting me to let you know that somebody may really come in with like a sob story, or they really need your help, or you're the answer to their prayers, or you can really help them, or let's just be friends or whatever. And you need to stay to yourself because I'm telling you, you're just getting at a point where you're about to like leave all of this behind and break out of a major cycle and have your breakthrough. And I don't know if it's like the universe's way of testing you or whatever, it doesn't matter, but either way, that's coming in, and they're more confused than you are, whether they show it or not. And you're right, you'll either just meet that realization or it'll be right beforehand. Or it might be you having to do what you need to do that will push you into your realization and have your breakthrough. But some of you may have to do this to have your breakthrough. And it might be because you see a side of them you never saw before. Because, and not even saying they're a bad person, it's just they're in a very low place right now. They may even have like low energies attached to them. So still have love and compassion, but you have to have your boundaries. But you may see a different side of them that you never saw, or just get your power back from being like, yo, I got things I'm focusing on. Because you do. You need to focus on your stuff right now. You need to stay focused. And their goals are different than your goals right now. And their confusing energy you're going to take on as your own. And you're right about to hit that breakthrough phase of releasing things that either no longer serve you, or you realizing they were never yours. They were a reality that you adopted of somebody else's, or their energy you felt as your own if you're an empath. So just please know that it's coming up very strong that they wanted to speak to you and let you know that. And if you feel like you're confused and lost now, then entertain this energy. And you will be wishing to where you are right now, is the way I feel about it. You're going to have to choose you in this situation, because it's not going to help them at the end of the day anyways. You're actually going to be doing them no good. So if you really love them, like, you're not doing them any good. It would be like enabling and hindering them. And it's definitely not going to do you any good. So I can keep going and going on this. But if you need help with this, if you want to see if this reading applies to you, if you need help with the blocks, email me about any shamanic services. It should be up soon. But if you want, you can ask in the meantime if you want. Don't forget about the raffle. So go back to the beginning of the reading if you want to learn about that and all the things for that to win either any reading or win a reading and any shamanic service. And I also have a video of a November, December raffle or whatever. But please like, share, comment, subscribe to. Like, even if you can't donate, even if you can't do the raffle, please at least comment on the video. Let me know if it resonates. Let me know something. It just really helps circulate the videos and get the message out as well. All information is in the description box below. And like I said, I will be adding my shamanic services soon. Hopefully I'll be adding like my website thing and everything. I have so many things I need to do and get done. I love you guys. I hope this really helps you. I'm just going to leave it here because I'll just like keep going and going and going. And it's probably just going to keep saying the same stuff over and over again. So keep your head up, keep going. Like, you're right there. Please don't get sidetracked. Please just stay focused. And remember that you are more important than anything. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean in a way of right now, to get through the place where you're at and to get through this breakthrough point that you need, it's going to take a level of self-care and perseverance and self-love and commitment and dedication and self-discipline and tough love. Like true love, maybe even to this person, of showing them what self-love looks like by you taking care of yourself and you being like, I can't do that. And even if it comes across angry, even if it's you standing up for yourself, like, stay calm if you can. I mean, just be there for yourself, lead by example, but do not get sucked into somebody else's story, and they might truly believe it, and that their manipulation might not even be conscious. But just remember everything you've been through and all the work you've done. Like, don't let it go in vain. Don't get backtracked. It was all to lead you somewhere. And maybe you could do that again. I don't know. I wouldn't want to, but I don't think you're going to be starting off at that point if this happens. And I'm not trying to put fear into you. I'm just saying it just seems like one of those points where right where you get to that place you want to be, or that door to open up and walk through, like something that just seems like everything you would want, or really honestly that pulls up your shadow contracts about maybe feeling valued if you're needed, or that you can win somebody over, or you can prove yourself now or something. You know what I mean? Like some shadowy contract is going to come up. And it's going to hurt. Like, it's going to hurt. You're going to have to choose not to go with it and be like, no, I'm going to be there for myself, because it's just going to suck you in. Anything right now that is for you is not going to, you're not going to have to prove yourself to it, especially not by doing something that goes against like your purpose, your goals, your values, your integrity. It shouldn't ask you to not be who you are in order to be there for it, or to stop what you're doing in order to do it. If anything like that comes in and it takes your focus completely off what you're doing, it's not the right thing unless you feel it giving you life. And I don't mean in a addicted, obsessive way. I mean in that floaty, loving kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, if it feels wrong, and yes, sometimes naughty wrongs can be exciting, I would not go with it right now. Or, you know, you're just going to stay in the purgatory. You get what I'm saying? Because you had to do it yourself too. You know what I mean? Like, nobody did it for you. And it's the same with this person. You can't do it for them. And you're going to probably see, and they're going to have to see, but you're going to see what their thoughts or relation is to you, or what they're going to do by you kind of standing up for yourself and giving it that opportunity. It doesn't matter. Like it'll just be shown to you. The main point is, do not let it sidetrack you from what you're doing. Your purpose is not to lift somebody else up by doing things right now. Yours is to lead by example and to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep going on. I love you guys. I hope this helps you. Hit me up if you need any help with anything, or share anything or whatever. You get it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, raffle. Thanks for the donations and the services, all that. I'll be talking to you guys soon. I love you. Bye.